Thank you. I would have to start with saying that Lithuania is not doing something against China, and I have to be very clear about this. And being from Baltics, we have a very an example that's very close to our hearts. When in 1990s, when Iceland was first to recognize Lithuanian independence, Iceland was not doing something against Soviet Union. This is not something how we remember the situation, even though after the recognition of Lithuania, Soviet Union imposed sanctions on Iceland. I think they stopped purchasing the fish from that was fished in the Icelandic waters. And I have to say this because it's also a very practical approach. I think we need more deeper ties, economic, political ties with the like-minded countries across the globe. And first of all, democratic countries. And this was a very, again, meaningful and transparent choice by Lithuanian government to do that, and we went on and we opened an embassy in Australia. We opened an embassy in South Korea, and we announced that we're deepening our ties with Taiwan. So we think that, and what I'm saying is practical, because long term, I think that many would agree that business will win when they have a contract with a country that's democratic, or with the companies from that country, where the rule of law is a basic principle that's being upheld, where arbitrary sanctions do not happen because one of your politicians from your parliament invited Uyghurs to speak in the plenary. So I think that where you often talking about the value side of support for democracy and human rights and rule of law, but I'm also saying that it's quite practical. It has a practical side. Now going back to the second side of your question about the concrete issues. So I would say that from the coercion that we're feeling from China, short term there could be problems, and our companies are feeling the pressure from China. I would have to say that the biggest problems come from the supply chain. And this was part of our discussion here in Washington, because especially being a small country, small economy, for us, securing the supply chain is quite a challenge. But when we understand that similar problems, countries like France, like Germany, even US are facing, especially when we're talking about the semiconductors. So basically, we're in the same boat, and we have to think about the solution. How do we solve these sort of problems?